Hello again, this is Cheryl Ann. I have part 3 here of my family memory journal. This is the first one of this kind that I've done, and I wanted to share it with you today. This is the front cover, and I went to a yard sale a couple weeks ago, and I found this really nice. It was 6 placemats, and they were really pretty, and I got them for like $3. So I put some of that on, and I don't have a photo yet for the cover. I'm still looking through my dad's things, but I have a lot of old family papers that have beautiful handwriting on them. I have 3 family Bibles that have been passed down, and this one had births and deaths and marriages in it, so I was able to make photocopies. I did these 2 in color and incorporate them. This is the black and white. So, I did get to use those. I did cover up some of the kind of spooky Halloween. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this journal when I first started, but it kind of took a life of its own. I really wanted to document my dad's family with some of the old papers and photographs. So I have a lot of them in here. I have a lot of envelopes for them for storage. And again, I didn't use the original photographs. I made copies. You can see here I've used some distress inks to make it look more vintagey old. And then I started writing some notes. And for now, I've just attached them with a paper clip. I did go on Amazon and order some of the Tim Holtz little clips, and they'll be here in a couple days. So I don't want to bore you through every page, but I did put some lace and different scrapbook papers to make it interesting. There's some more of the distress inks, and I have this pocket, and here's another little note. I like using the tags as notes because you can take them out then and read them. I'm getting some more lace. I didn't want this to be real frilly. That was not the purpose. The purpose was to annotate people and houses, and here's a little tuck pocket that I did use. Families. They seem to be quite a happy group of people. I don't know, because I was only 4 when I went back to Connecticut one time with my dad, so I never really knew them. And here I tried to annotate, if I had facts about the people. The problem is that some of the fathers and sons, they both had the same name, and you really have to keep them straight. This one I still want to decorate. I just haven't done that yet. And then it ends with the deaths of some of the people. Somebody did a really good job of keeping track of who's who and where they lived and all that. I do have some of my dad's family things that I want to incorporate. I have these 2 silver spoons, and one of them does have my grandfather's initials, great-grandfather, on it. So I want to somehow use them. And then this was my dad's retirement watch, and I'm not quite sure how to attach this. My husband suggested just using it as a bookmark, have this part hang down, and then have that on the outside. And then somebody had it's a little coin purse, and it's really cute. It's not that heavy. But if you guys have any ideas or suggestions on how I can attach these, I'd love to hear it. I did use some distress ink on some of the papers, especially the photocopies. This one is the walnut stain. I have some other ones, but I really like that one. It did a good job, and it made the pages look old and antique-y. I had a 12-hour babysitting stint with the 18-month-old grandson yesterday, so I needed a break. So I ran into Hobby Lobby, and they had all their scrapbook single pages, 50% off. So I grabbed about 20. This one is our family tree. It goes back 1, 2, 3, 4 generations from my family. That's not enough, because they go back to the 1600s and further. And then I found this one. I really like that one. It kind of looks like burlap. It has some nice writing on it. This is another one. I kind of liked it. I think I got like 4 of each of these because I thought, oh, I can use them. And this one has old letters. I would never cut up my family's letters like this, but that might be good to use as a background. And this one is our story. I have a lot of family stories I could write down. One husband and wife had 8 children, and they had 2 sets of twins, and they lived in Washington, D.C., and apparently they were there when the Civil War broke out, and they had to get out of Dodge real quick. Well, they left the 2 boys, the 2 twins, one of whom was my great-grandfather. They left them behind, and they had to make their way from Washington, D.C. back to Connecticut, so I imagine that was quite a story. So she's done, and journal is done. I only made a few fabric tabs just to kind of separate the families so I could keep track of who's who. I really wanted to put in some photographs of some of the old homes because you know what? Some of these homes are no longer there. I just read an article that I'd forgotten. I had an email about it from 2014. One of the homes burnt down. I don't know if it was this one, but it looked a lot like that. And it was a historic home. The man that built it, and not my direct line, but a cousin, he'd been in the Revolutionary War, and the house had been there. In fact, it was used during the war as a meeting place. The British didn't know that, of course. But, you kind of hate to see these old houses go. Once they're gone, they're gone. Again, here's another one, and, I don't have any family there anymore, and all the old homes that they lived in, they're gone. They've, these, I don't know what to call them, the mega mansions have come in, and, family farms that were 40 to 60 acres, they've been split up and sold, and these huge multi-million-dollar homes are there now. So a lot of these are gone. If you're going to do a family memory journal, this one took me a week to put together. I had all my dad's papers. I had a couple boxes of them. So I just made photocopies. Just be aware of the emotional toll. I'm having a hard time leaving this, and I have other things I want to do, but I'm having a hard time putting it down. I constantly want to open it and look at the photos and look at the places and look at the dates. My dad documented his mail lines. He did a good job, especially his direct mail line. None of his direct ancestors were of the age to be in the Revolution, but the female lines, that's where I did them. I researched them, and that's where I found a lot of really interesting things. A lot of them did serve in the Revolution. My dad served in World War II, and he was in the Pacific arena. He was in New Guinea, and he never talked about it. I did have his old army hat, and I had a couple ammo boxes, but he did not talk about his experience. So just be aware when you start working on a family book, it is an emotional ride. Be prepared. I want to do my mom's side. I did not put any of her family things in this one. This is just my dad's side. And I'll do hers. I have all her stuff documented. She and my grandmother did all that before my grandmother died, so I have it all. I just have to put it together in a book. I would suggest if you're going to do this kind of thing, you might want to think about making photocopies and not using the originals. I keep the originals in our safe, and then I have a lot of deeds of trust and banknotes and letters from the 1850s and 1860s. I am going to scan them and then send them to the Connecticut Historical Society. I contacted them a few years ago, and they said they would gladly accept them. It's what am I going to do with them? Our kids aren't really interested in that kind of thing, so we'll send them on, and hopefully they'll find a new home, and maybe some researcher someday will find something interesting. Thank you for stopping by, and have a great day.